Welcome back, everybody, to watch more football. Another weekend of Premier League football to digest and cogitate. You're watching us on the Genreverse Sports YouTube channel, which is part of the Genreverse family. So please, while you're here, why not check that out? There's quite a lot of entertainment news, reactions, trailers, discussions, loads of stuff to do with the geek community in general. And you'll find very similar content to that, plus a little bit more on the films and TV side on our written website, which is lrmonline.com. I am one of the writers on there. My name is Cam Clark. I'm here as always with the usual crew. Kel, our producer, is here. We've also got Mick back this week. Dave's here as always, but as you can probably see, we do not have Ryan this week. So, you know, we wish him fun.
It's only going to be a 10-minute episode now.
Yeah. It could be, and you know, we'll perhaps see this week how much we rely on Ryan behind the scenes doing some of the donkey work before these shows for us.
That'll be producer Kyle approved. I'm joking. Hey, I am wearing a different jersey. I'm wearing a jersey from a real sport here. Supporting my Pens that broke a 6-game losing streak.
Is the sport that you give penguins sticks and then watch them fight each other? Is that the sport?
It's a beautiful sport, Cam. A beautiful sport. Yeah, I'm a big gun. They sucked this week again, right? They sucked last week too, right? Yeah.
Well, they played my team, mine and Mick's team this week. And no, they didn't do well. But we shall discuss that as we move along. As always, though, we'll start off with our predictions from last week, and it was a good week for me.
I wish I never turned up now.
Sorry, what's that?
I wish I never turned up now. These predictions.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you didn't have a good week. Mick only managed 3 points, but it was shock results. And I think at one point there was at least one time when you were seconds off a 3-pointer and it turned into a 0-pointer, and gave me a 3-pointer and stuff. And that's just what happens sometimes, isn't it? So I did the best this week with 10 points. Dave was second with, equal second with Kel. Both of them get 7 points this week. Sorry, I forgot about Ryan. I'm used to getting
it's at the bottom, so you get down there later on, don't you? Yeah.
I know that's what it is. But Ryan actually came second this week and scored 9 points, and actually managed to catch up slightly with Kyle, who had a decent week himself. So the overall table is I am on top now again on 82 points. Dave is second on 77, Mick's on 76, Kel 65, and Ryan is bottom, but not by as much, on 62 at the moment. So
I am determined to only get 4 points this week. Just saying, Ryan should go for 7.
Why? just so that it's 69.
Nice.
Oh, you
dirty-minded
American yank. Honestly, you can take the guy out of America, but you know, what do you want me to say? So that was our predictions. We shall move on to some of the games this week because the results themselves it was basically a shock weekend. So we usually start off with our shock results of the week. And there was quite a few of them, to be honest. One of them we'll kind of get to later on, which is the Newcastle-Arsenal game. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But spoiler alert, Newcastle won 1-0.
I don't know why that's such a shock.
Well, it's not a shock for me. I predicted that's what was happening, and I got 3 points for it, so it wasn't a shock to me. It just par for the course.
Three of the last 4 times they've came to St James's, they've lost.
It is. I think we should also point out it is basically a year anniversary since we started this show, and the first ever show that we did was after Newcastle had beat Arsenal 1-0 at St James's Park. We're here a year later, and it's just weird how the fixtures have worked out, and Newcastle have won 1-0 again at St James's Park. Quite happy with that. But we will come back to that game. First of all, let's talk about Man City getting beat off of Bournemouth.
I think you watched that,
anytime Man City get beat, it's a shock result. Sorry?
Yeah. You watched that one, didn't you?
I did. Did I? Yes. I watched the second half of it. I watched the second. Kind of missed most of the first half. I did watch the second half of it though. Well, you were watching other games. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was watching the Liverpool game, and it was good. The good stream that I had for it because it kept every time anything happened in any other game at the 3 o'clock kickoffs, it was shown as everything that was happening. So I didn't have to watch that
in France at the weekend, watching
I was in
on
Cannes.
their footage. That's what it was. Yeah. I myself had flew in for some interviews that I needed to conduct in LA, so I was watching the football as I usually do most weekends in America. And there we go. That's our legalities done. Yeah, it was a shock result. I thought Bournemouth were absolutely fantastic. I mean, you do expect them. They are a very good team, defend really, really well, but they're a threat when they go forward as well. But I think you have to look at it and say that Man City didn't play that well. And
I've never really seen City concede so many chances as well. Like Bournemouth could have been so many times. Yeah, they were so wasteful.
Yeah, I mean,
it could have been bad.
It really could have been 4-0 at one point before Man City got one back, you know. But you just never know with City. You always have that feeling, are they going to come back and actually win this? But really, they didn't deserve anything from the game. They were poor.
I mean, they had a lot of chances in the last 10 minutes.
Which they tend to always do if they're not winning.
Yeah.
But didn't they Bournemouth hit the post and then come back out to Clivert and he missed the open goal?
Yep. Oh, that was honestly one of the sitters of the season. That, I mean, if he just took one touch first to settle it, he could have literally rolled it into the back of the net, but he did that instinctive. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be this is going to be the third goal. I've scored this. And he was celebrating it in his head when he had it, and it just went. As we like to call it in my playing in Scotland, we would call that a camel's arse. High and stinking. Anyway, so yeah, it was a bit of a shock result for City because obviously Arsenal had already lost when City played, so it was a chance for them to extend their lead over Arsenal a little bit and they get beat. So we were all kind of saying, like, that's Arsenal out the title race. Then Man City go and get beat, and you think, okay, maybe they're not out the title race after all, because it kind of didn't matter that much.
But Liverpool went and won.
Yes, and that's put them top, but I don't think they're yet. Like, I think Man City might have been on a sailboat to Arsenal if they had won as well, whereas now it's kept them where they are.
As well,
Liverpool just up a little bit, so you never know.
Liverpool could have been 3 down by half time.
Yeah, they were poor. I
watched that one. The second half they came out a different animal.
That's what these teams sometimes can do, and quite often do. Another one that was a bit of a shock this week was, in terms of our predictions anyway, was Southampton beating Everton 1-0. And it shouldn't really be that much of a shock that Southampton at home beats Everton 1-0, who are pish, let's face it.
Yeah.
But they've kind of been playing better in recent weeks, and Southampton are below them, and they keep losing. So I think we all just thought, that's not happening.
It was nearly an upset for them as well. Again, Southampton conceding a late chance, didn't they?
Well, the thing is, but Everton,
our goal, wasn't it?
Everton, what was it? Unbeaten in 5 before that game. They hadn't lost in 5 games. So they haven't been playing that bad. But obviously,
they weren't playing that bad when they were getting sometimes as well.
Yeah.
I would say as well.
But obviously, like when Southampton scored, it was like towards the end of the game, wasn't it? 87th minute or something when Southampton scored. 88th minute.
I'll be able to tell you.
Yeah, and then it was like 2 minutes.
And it was 5th minute. 5th minute. Yeah.
We thought Everton had scored equaliser.
This was Everton's first loss in 5 games. They had 2 draws and 2 wins in their last 5 before this.
Yeah.
Okay, we're slightly easier games, lads. We're playing like lower end teams.
Yeah. But but obviously Beto scored. The way Southampton was celebrating that goal on the 85th minute, like they had already won the game. It was like the 95th minute.
They should know from experience not to do it.
Yeah,
and Beto went up and scored in like 2 minutes later. And the hearts must have sank. But it was
94th minute.
Then they get the double reward of getting called off, though, isn't it? So,
The thing is, it was actually the 89th minute when the goal went in, but the VAR took that long with it. That's why I put it down as the 94th minute. It was actually like around about the 89th minute when they actually equalised.
It's
VR nowadays.
Fair play to Southampton. Kind of first win of the season.
They needed it. Doesn't really get them far at the moment.
I don't think it's such a great thing to shout about that you beat Everton at home, really. Everton are still not that good, and they are going to have off days at times. I think they're just one of those teams that they're just not going to be ever consistent.
That was their first
season anyway.
Was it the first win of the season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4 points now.
Yeah.
Was that Brenton Diaz's first win in the Premier League in about 30 attempts or something?
I believe you're right, yeah. I don't know why Newcastle fans have got it in for him because of what happened in the first game of the season, but they've been doing a running tally for how many games this guy's now went in the Premier League without a win. He's finally got one. Whether he was playing, I don't even know because I didn't watch.
He played for Sheffield United, didn't he, last season?
Yeah.
So that's why it's like that long.
Anyway, our next shock result of the week, I think, was less the result, more than the scoreline, was Spurs beating Aston Villa 4-1. That's a strange. I watched this one as well. I think probably most of us watched this, or some of us watched this one anyway.
Watched the second half.
It was a Sunday game, wasn't it? It was a strange game because Aston Villa were basically winning 1-0 at half-time, but without playing well, and you thought, is this going to be one of those games where Aston Villa just grind out a win, but don't really play well? And then Spurs come out in the second half and absolutely scudded them and just blew them away, and it ended up being 4-1. And I don't think the scoreline was misleading, actually, when you look at how they did blow them away.
Villa's defending was awful.
Yeah. It was terrible, wasn't it? Compared to what they've been like recently.
Yeah.
I mean, last week, Konsa and Dina, and they all were getting into a team of the week. Now you just
got to the heads, Mick. They watched the show and they were like, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah, this is easy. Win the team of the week."
Yeah.
I mean,
not this week.
Teams are just going to do that sometimes. I mean, if you look at, if we were in a similar position last season to them, we had some odd games where you just think, where did that come from? And the performances just weren't there. And I think that is the difference between the teams that are pushing for fourth and the ones that are fighting for titles. I mean, I know Man City had an off week this weekend, but it's rare. But Aston Villa did have an off week, and I think there will be a few more off weeks that they have as well, especially with the Champions League as well. So is that Spurs back though? Because they've been going through a really bad time, and then they've won.
Yeah, they're pretty much up there again with the table. We're only, 2 points behind top four now. So, and they've got a really good goal difference. They've scored a lot of goals, and they've got half decent defence. So
they're 2 points behind Forest.
No, Forest are 3 points ahead.
3 points ahead. So is that Newcastle back then? Because we're only 3 points behind Arsenal.
I mean, we're not far away.
The goal difference is a bit crap, but
Spurs. Our goal difference isn't good. But we're just a little bit. I mean, it's so tight in the middle of that table. It really is. That sort of almost third place, even right down to kind of like 12th, 13th. It's just bunched together, and we're kind of seeing that in a lot of seasons now. Even if you look at how it finished off last season, you tend to have a couple run away, and then it does bunch up into kind of sections after that, and then you usually have the relegation fodder, and they're quite some distance away by the end of the season, usually. So I wonder if that's what we're seeing at the moment, and it's maybe just that too many teams in the middle are all as good as each other. They've all got money, they don't have to sell their players, they all want to push for Europe, and they're all fighting with each other. I guess that's what makes it an exciting league though, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
And any one of those teams can beat one of the big teams every now and again as well. So that's our shock results of the week. We'll look at our team of the week then, quickly. A bit quicker than we did last week anyway. I'm just going to find it here because
trying to think of who's in it. Ramsdale.
Not Hall.
We have Ramsdale, Southampton goalkeeper. So he must have had a good performance against Everton. Obviously, kept any chances.
He did. He made a few good saves. I think he made a double save as well. Actually, you know what it is? We should have a shithouse of the week as well for what he did at Beto. When Beto's goal got disallowed, he went running into his face going,
I didn't even see that.
I never thought about that for shithouse. Never mind.
So here a good one. Our central defence is Murillo of Nottingham Forest and Harwood Bellis of Southampton. Again, both had very good games. Both teams won and both teams kept clean sheets this week. And I think, that obviously has a big factor on who we're putting in at centre-back. Second time Murillo's been in the team of the week this season. Good player, him.
Forest have the second best defence, don't they? So he deserves to be there.
Yeah.
Forest are doing really well.
It's good to see Nuno doing well as well after he get basically hounded out of Spurs after just a few games.
The thing is though, that he's been in the stands for the last 3 games because he's been suspended, hasn't he? And that's when Forest have picked up all the points.
We had a bit of a discussion around the kind of left back and right back slot. I don't think the right back slot was really in question, which was Tino Livramento, who had a almost perfect game. Playing at right back for Newcastle against Arsenal. There's very rarely any attacks come down his side at all.
Remember when you said that Gusto absolutely humiliated Harvey Barnes and sent him off crying? Yeah. That's what Tino Livramento done to Martinelli.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of did. Yeah, he just left him completely clueless. And you like to see that when it's your team, not when the opposition. One of our watchers, Rich, was less pleased with his team in that game, but we'll get to that. But we also kind of, at one point, had Lewis Hall at left back for Newcastle as well, because he was equally just as good
brilliant
for me down the left-hand side. But he ended up losing out because Kerkez, there was a lot of good left-back performances this week, really, but Kerkez had to take it. He had an excellent game for Bournemouth. Again, they beat Man City, which is even better than Newcastle beating Arsenal in terms of shocks. He got 2 assists for the 2 goals, and he was absolutely excellent. So no problem putting him against Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall, you'll get there one day. You've been close a couple of team of the week. We'll get you in at some point. Just keep trying, son. I know you watched this.
England left back first.
I'm not sure why Caicedo get in at the central defensive position, other than did we just not have anybody else, or was he one of the best of a bad bunch? Because it wasn't a great game.
He was incredible. He was incredible.
Yeah. I'll say that he had a really good game, I thought.
I missed some chunks of that game.
No, we'll go more into it later, but he was brilliant, and his goal was so well taken. He only scores bangers.
Cool. That's true. He did score, and it was about a good goal as well. So fair play. We also had Bruno G for Newcastle, who I think probably get penciled in earlier on, and then nobody just really outplaced him as the weekend went on. He did have a good game, although I would argue maybe Arsenal let him of a good game by giving him far too much space. Lamina at Wolves was class in the middle as well, and then we've got up front. We've got Salah.
Sorry, I was more of Gomez than Lamina. I thought he was brilliant, especially in that second half for Wolves.
Yeah, they did do well. Up front, we've got Solanke, who banged in 2 for Spurs in that 4-1 victory over Villa, played well. Semenyo, who I think it's the second time he's been in the team of the week already for Bournemouth. And then Hudson-Odoi, who's also been in the team of the week this year already in the left wing position. Both had good games, either scoring or assisting, etc. So that's our
I had a good stat today that 25% of the goals scored this weekend were all Chelsea graduates. I don't know whether we have a good academy or just because we go through a lot of players. Yeah, and
go through a lot of players.
And Hall were excellent.
Half our teams,
and that's not even including them.
So.
Yeah.
Think of the team you would have if you'd kept them all. Well, the team you would have would be 60 strong, and none of them would have got a game or been that good to begin with. That's the problem. You can't keep them all as much as you would like to when one of them becomes good. So that was our team of the week this week. I don't think we have a specific moment of the week this week. So we are going to go into our VAR watch and look at some of the incidents that actually happened. I think the first one up for us to discuss, and I think I know where we'll stand in this, but I'm not 100% sure, is should Martinez have got a red card in the Man United?
That's
not the one we're starting with. I knew I would mess it up. We're starting with Ipswich penalty. Sorry.
Bring back Ryan.
I know. I told you. You need Ryan for these bits. So yeah, we're starting off with should Ipswich have had a penalty in their game, which obviously they ended up drawing 1 each. Boys, this one.
Stonewall. I mean, that's about as penalty as you can get, isn't it?
The dive.
It didn't even get set
it's
up.
It's a 50-50 challenge. Yeah.
Certainly, if it was did go to VAR, they never sent the referee to look at it. And I think if they'd sent the referee to look at that, he'd have went, "Oh, I've made a mistake there," and gave that. But it was funny trying to see Dermot Gallagher trying to defend it on Sky Sports News on Monday. No, it's not, and everybody else just looking at him as if, what are you on about, Dermot? That is such a penalty, it's unreal. And they even went through the actions. Like, if I've got the ball and you're coming towards me and I move left and you walk into me, is that a foul or not? Yes or no? And he's like, yeah, definite penalty. So I think Ipswich can definitely feel aggrieved about that one.
Yeah, and that could be important to them at the end of the year as well.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
That could have been extra 2 points for them.
Yeah,
but then it's the same for everybody, because everybody's got a different thing that they're fighting for, whether it's that squeeze into Europe by a point or it's it's the money.
It's a different, it's a different kettle of fish if it knocks them out of the league altogether, though, isn't it? To saying, I wanted to finish seventh.
It's no less than somebody losing out in a league or title or missing out in Champions League by a point, and therefore it defects your strategy. I think they're all...
they might miss out on Champions League, but they've still got Europa League. But these are not going to be in the Premier League anymore. So it is worse.
Most
but still, at the end of the day,
within a couple of years, not all of them.
You've got another 37 games to make that right.
Back in the league. I'd like Ipswich to stay in this time, but I don't know. We'll need to wait and see as the season develops for that one.
It's a 38-game season.
Yeah. We're only on game week 12 or
10.
Something like that at the moment.
We're going into 11.
That's right. That's where I'm getting mixed up. I'm going one ahead instead of behind. Yeah, the second one, I may have spoiled this one already. Just so happens that there was a challenge from Martinez on Cole Palmer. How dare he touch Cole Palmer? Good dive, yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're all agreed. Let's move on.
Even though that badly, he had to go and get a scan.
It was a pretty bad challenge, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, on first viewing, I wasn't sure, but the final angle it showed us, scrapes down his knee.
Yeah, it studs down the knee. It's a red card all day, isn't it?
It's one of those challenges when you play football, it's a dirty challenge when you look at that, because you know what's happened. He's beat him with a bit of skill, and the player's got it into his head. Just that split second, the red mists come up and said, "You're not getting past me. I'm going to snap your leg into it." And all right, maybe he didn't go full force into it, like maybe Roy Keane would have snapped the guy in half or something like that. But even he was calling it a bad challenge at the end of the game. He was saying, "Look, I know I'm not one to talk about it." That was a red card. So I think he's right. Yeah. I think Ryan agreed as well, and he's a Man United fan.
Yeah, Ryan did.
So there's two that VAR have absolutely messed up this week. Well done, lads. Good process, as always. So that kind of leads us on to chatting a little bit about that Man United and Chelsea game. Dave, what's your thoughts?
I don't know. Should we lead with Ryan's thoughts about it? Yeah. Because he has. I don't know if anybody wants to read it out in their best Ryan voice.
Nah.
I'm struggling to find.
I'll try.
It was shit. That's all he said. It was shit.
Right. Okay. Ryan's thoughts. Right. Okay. So he says performance was flat on Sunday, celebrating a bought penalty. His words, not mine, by the way. As hard as we did was cringe. Leica should have been sent off. Yeah, we just discussed that. Then he goes on to talk about Amarin. Amarin is bringing a new tactical blueprint with him, and it's one we sorely need. A 3-4-3 provides more cover for the defence, stops the midfield being built around Bruno, and only one player who will miss out will be the one of the wide forwards who aren't performing anyway. I suppose you can talk about Garnacho there because he was absolutely terrible on Sunday. His decision making prevented United from getting goals.
The thing is, though, Highland really knocked them up a couple of times. There was once where he should have played Garnacho in, held it too long. When he played it, Garnacho was a mile offside. And then about a minute later, he had pretty much exactly the same position. And he had to play Rashford in. And he just held it, and Caicedo nicked it off him.
That's a lot of that from both teams. Both teams' attacks just seemed like they didn't really want to attack. It was the slowest game I've seen in a long time, probably since last year we played at Old Trafford. I said that neither of these teams deserve a point, but it was so bad. It was sad to watch it from like us playing Newcastle last week, where it was really high tempo and a lot of pressing. This week we were literally walking the ball up the pitch and nobody was challenging.
I think these were like, we're at Old Trafford, right? So we've got to be careful. I think if you went into that game with the attitude that you did when you were at home against us, is let's go at these. Yeah. I think you'd have destroyed them that game because I don't think they could have done any different than what they did. So I think you'd have smashed them, but you just didn't.
Yeah, we're just too cautious. I think we were just afraid about what their forwards can do, which they showed a few times. When United get at you, it can be vulnerable. But I don't know why either.
He's played just as bad. Sorry. He's played just as bad on Sunday as what you did on Wednesday against us. That's St. James's.
Yeah, they're two different teams, but I agree with what you say. Yeah.
That's a strange one, that, because Chelsea do have a bigger squad to literally play two different teams midweek and weekend, so you can't really judge them the same.
We didn't have an excuse of being tired at all. It was just a tactical choice, and I don't know why we chose to play that way.
Yeah, it was as if you tried to grind out. We're almost like happy to just
we play like that just every
against
time.
Man United at the moment. It's the best time to play them before the new manager comes in and everything like that. Actually, because the players are all a bit, so
the only players I think that can hold their head high from that day is Caicedo, Lavia, and Mazraoui. Is it? I think he played pretty well, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty decent season for Man United. Certainly Ryan also has been watching more games than we have, but it wasn't much of a game, and there wasn't a lot to write home about any of the kind of performances, other than, as you say, probably Caicedo and Lavia were pretty good for
Neto
Chelsea,
was all right, but we didn't really do much.
And actually, it was those two you were big time missing when we beat you in midweek, because that's where you were weakest against us and where you were strongest the week before when you beat us at home. So
Neto played all right. He was missing for quite a lot of that, wasn't he? It wasn't until the second half he started to get at the
I think he switched sides, didn't he? He switched sides. I think he But oh well. It's disappointing.
Ryan's thing about the kind of tactical thing with Amarin when he comes in. I said that weeks ago, if you remember. I said that they need to play with Bruno as being one of their front three, so that he's not a part of the midfield, and then have a midfield behind them. And that's
not playing as a front three though, because
Amarin will do.
He's going to be playing probably two wingers and a striker, with two wing backs, two centre mids, and three centre backs.
It's a 3-4-3.
So where do you fit Bruno?
Amarin plays one of those three at the top. But what they would normally do, Man United, is they've had a wide player like a Rashford and a Garnacho, somebody in the middle, and then Bruno as a 10 behind them, and that's what doesn't work for me. He needs to
definitely
that freedom of forward.
But I can't see Bruno working in a three up front. He's not a winger. Do you know what I mean? He's not
apparently. I'm only going by what Sky Sports say. I don't watch a lot of sport in Lisbon, but Ruben Amarin plays more 2-10s behind the striker rather than very wide forwards.
I like a Christmas tree.
Okay.
Christmas tree.
It sounds like that, doesn't it?
It sounds like it, yeah. But you know, I'm telling you, 10 years they'll be back at 4-4-2 again. We may not be sitting here talking about it.
I tell you what,
this new formation 4-4-2 is destroying everybody.
I don't see how that formation would work with Man U, with the players that they've got. I don't know.
We'll see.
Remains to be seen.
Another question is where
a couple of weeks. So
where does Xerxes fit into all of this?
Exactly.
He looks lost every time.
The rumours I've been reading, he doesn't fit into his shorts very well, because there's rumours about that Ten Hag didn't want to sign Xerxes. He was not a choice of Ten Hag's. He was forced upon him, and when he came, he was a stone overweight, and Ten Hag was not happy with him at all when he came in the summer.
He looks slow.
That's the rumours I'm.
He looks very slow
online. So who knows? Maybe the guy does need a bit of a boot up the backside, but
he could be
impressed with him.
Yeah, he could be disappointment of the season signing wise.
Yeah,
maybe.
Fairly
any of us picked actually.
Well, on to Newcastle and Arsenal.
Sorry, Rich, you're still not going to get any credit for Arsenal.
Next week, maybe.
I don't think Arsenal played very well. I really don't. I think we had a good game, but I think Arsenal looked.
They're really struggling with that Odegaard, I think. They just seem to lack that creative spark.
But that's the only player that they're missing. Really?
If I'll tell you, if it's an injury crisis.
It's an injury crisis.
It is.
They're missing Odegaard.
It's the best player.
But
anybody would miss a player that good. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I think they're getting into it thinking Newcastle aren't that good this year. We after what happened last year, this is a bit of a bite of it. This
a rivalry
game,
developing.
There should be, yeah. And I kind of felt like Arsenal's performance was the opposite of that. There was no bite. They lost all the one-on-one duels. You know, the aggressiveness was all Newcastle. They tried to play football. They played possession football, but they just created so little chances. And when we get the ball, we went at them, and we at times we looked dangerous on the counter. But in the midfield battles, we just won every battle. It was a very strange game.
Look at it. Last season, Nick Pope made one save throughout the whole game, and that was a Martinelli shot from 20 yards out. This season, he didn't make one save. There was no save to be made. Everything that I said last week that you guys read out for us, they've just done the complete opposite of that. Every single one of them worked the socks off. Put a massive shift in
against Chelsea as well.
They've put a huge shift in, and they outplayed Arsenal. Now, Arteta said Newcastle are good at what they do. Well, that's him crying
Arsenal
again.
This season, what they do has been using the dark arts to win games, using all that time wasting, you know, all of that sort of stuff. Goalkeepers going down injured, all the stuff that he was saying that 2 years ago he was complaining that Newcastle do. He didn't do, funnily enough, any of that in the game against us because they were getting beat and they couldn't afford to do any of that. But you also didn't see us doing any of that, did you? So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Lego head. Yeah, Lego head prick. Fuck you.
No, but anyway. I think we've put a massive shift in. Everyone, even Longstaff was brilliant. Can't fault them. Eddie Howe had a bang on.
Yeah.
Let's hope
I think that's hopefully that's the formation that we're going with every week, and that's what we're adapting, and other players are fitting into that formation going forward.
This is the thing that gets me, right? We've done it against Arsenal, we've done it against City as well, where everybody really put a massive shift in and played the arses off. Why can't we do it against the other ones? Against if you like to call them the lesser teams. Do you know what I mean? Where we're getting beat off them and stuff, and we just don't turn up.
I don't know. It's a tricky one. I think against Brighton, where we get beat, I think we did play well, and then we couldn't score, and we lost that goal. But against Chelsea, who are not a lesser team by any stretch of the imagination,
I wasn't talking about them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to go back quite a few games then to when we last played poorly. I didn't think we did play well against Chelsea. But Chelsea weren't really good. well. So
yeah, Fulham when you lost Fulham 3-1.
Yeah, that was a pretty good.
Just all them games there that you would think that we should be picking up points, and it's just nothing. There was no performance.
Like you say, you're only 3 points off top four.
Doing well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so tight this year. I think anybody can lose to anybody, to be honest.
But we've got Forest next as well. So if we could beat Forest, that'll put we level points with them.
I don't think we will.
No, put 1 point behind, I think.
Is it 1 point behind?
I think Forest at home will be difficult. I'd be happy with a draw, to be honest.
Very, very hard game. And then we've got West. Yeah. We've got West Ham and then Palace? Or is it Palace then West Ham?
West Ham, then Palace, then Liverpool.
West Ham might have a new manager by then.
We should be looking at picking up 6 points off them 2 games. It's like Dave said, we've got Liverpool after that.
In December, yeah.
Yeah.
So
we've got to be looking at picking 6-7 points up off the next 3 games.
You could do. Yeah. Palace are definitely there to be got at. West Ham, absolutely.
We'd love to see it, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see, because they're the ones that then you come back next week and you're like, how did we lose that game? We're shit. How out?
I've never once said that.
No, I never have either. But you know what some of our fans are like, and they're the same way. Every fan, they're losing at half time, and they're all shouting, "How out? This is a disgrace." We win 4-1, and you don't hear anything from them after that. You know, it's like, and then the next week, as soon as you're getting beat again, it's like for some fans, unless they're winning every minute of every football game, it's the manager's fault because he never picked who they would have picked to play the game that day. Arseholes, basically. Most football fans are genuinely arseholes. That's just true.
Every fan base has got them.
On to our predictions for next week. So, what have we got? We always mentioned the Forest and the Newcastle game. I think that'll be
a good
draw. There's a few other good games. Yeah.
I think there's loads of good games. I think
Bournemouth will be a good game. Yeah, there's a lot of good games. West Ham United, given where they are, Everton, that kind of they're both shit, but it feels like a big game.
Well, a lot of us went for the same result there, didn't we?
Everyone
It gave me.
I don't know what Kel you went for, but every one of us went for 1-1 in that West Ham Everton game.
It was crazy. You guys actually, because there's also a 1-1 like Mick picked for Palace Fulham, and like I had numbers dyslexia or something, like it all just jumbled up and my brain fried for a moment seeing that. It was weird.
And you put 11-0.
Brighton versus City, given the fact that City get beat last week and Brighton have won the last couple, is a big game. Liverpool versus Villa.
I went for Brighton.
Title. Villa have just lost.
Went
for Brighton, so you did, you?
Because
fair play.
City have got an injury crisis.
Well, Rodri's out. But yeah, we do have quite a few players out, don't they?
They do, yeah. They've only got 13 fit players.
We'll see. They've still got,
that right,
I think,
Pep?
one of the best squads in the world. So they don't get much sympathy from me, I'm afraid, on the injury front.
After what our teams went through last year, nah.
No, exactly. You know, when you look at all 3 of our teams last year, and the injury crisis they had was just disgraceful. So it's not our turn this year. Somebody else's turn. And then obviously we've got Man United versus Leicester. No one cares about that. Even Ryan doesn't care about that. Man United will probably win. It'll be Ruud van Nistelrooy's last game in charge. He'll get a clap off at the end, and then it'll be Q Amarim for the next time.
Who have they got Leicester?
And then a Tottenham Ipswich.
Yeah,
they've just beat them 5-2
at home. Yeah, I know.
5-2
I know. So yeah, I don't see them as being potential shocks, to be honest, but you never know. So that's our predictions for next week. Any last thoughts, lads, before we wrap up?
You missed a big game off.
You did, yeah.
You missed a big game off.
Tottenham versus Ipswich.
Yeah. Then you've got Chelsea Arsenal.
Yeah. I mean, Chelsea Arsenal. Did I not say that one?
No.
I
didn't tell you.
No.
Super Sunday.
There you go. Is that the big one? I guess it is.
It's only me who's predicted for Chelsea to lose, which I do all the time anyway, but surprising. I think we kind of look a bit deer in the headlights against the big teams, so I don't know how it's going to go.
Definitely says you're at home. Yeah, and I think he's a bit more confident when you're at home than you are when you're away. And I think Maresca's a bit more. I think he lets the leash off a little bit more. And I think you have to sense some blood with Arsenal. So I'd be disappointed if you don't really go and have at them. Kind of thing.
You might be at home, but the injury crisis is over because Odegaard's in full training now.
Is he?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Europe this week as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Arsenal's playing this week and Chelsea.
Yeah, we're playing on Thursday, but I don't know if we're away or home.
I think you're at home.
You
played away against Panathinaikos last time.
Yes, we are at home against a team called Noah.
Norway.
Noah? Is he bringing these out?
I'll have to. With all the tears.
By the way, I've seen his team are a bunch of animals, I'm telling you. I'm here all week.
I tell you, you're going to find it hard getting.
We play a 2-2-2-2-2-2 formation, don't
they? Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Anyway.
So, guys, check out Genreverse. Remember the Genreverse YouTube channel. You can find us as part of that, Genreverse Sports. And please also check lrmonline.com as well for some of your written needs. If you're still a reader, no one's reading these days. Everybody just wants videos. But I'm still writing. So if you prefer reading some well worked out prose, then please check us out on there as well. Other than that, bye-bye. See you later.
I hope you read better. I hope you write better than you talk.
Yeah, I was about to say
100%. I'm definitely better at writing than I am at talking. Always have been.